Hello students, myself Dr. S. Subhash, Department of Physiology, School of Allied Health Sciences. Today I am going to discuss about sympathetic nervous system. What is sympathetic nervous system? The sympathetic nervous system is a key division of the autonomic nervous system responsible for activating the flight or fight responses. Especially this sympathetic nervous system is one of the branch of the autonomic nervous system. It's activated during the emergency situations like physical activity or any stress or any fearful situations. Those time they will activate the flight or fight responses. Those fight or flight responses is called defense mechanisms by challenging our body by activating those defense mechanisms. It is called sympathetic nervous systems. Next one, structure of the sympathetic nervous system. It mostly the structure consists of central or peripheral components. Central component, its origin from thoracocolumnar region of the spinal cord, specifically T1 to L2, L3. Okay, thoracic T1 to lumbar regions L2 or L3. It consists of the central component of the sympathetic nervous system. And peripheral component consists of ganglia, postganglia, neurons and target organs. First one, sympathetic ganglia. Sympathetic ganglia is further divided into paravertebral ganglia. Paravertebral ganglia form the sympathetic chain trunk on both sides of the vertebral column. It's called paravertebral ganglia. These ganglia are interconnected, allowing the distribution of signals to multiple organs. Okay, these ganglia are mostly interconnected and then it forms chain of distributions and transmit those signals to multiple organs. And then further, prevertebral ganglia. What is prevertebral ganglia? It is also located near major abdominal muscles. It is above the major abdominal muscles. Example, celiac, superior mesenteric and inferior mesenteric ganglia. Okay, these ganglia mostly activated the digestive properties or digestive functions of the sympathetic nervous system. Next one, neurons. It's further divided into preganglionic and postganglionic neurons. Preganglionic neurons are also called short fibers. It releases acetylcholine at synapses in the ganglia. Postganglionic neurons are also called long fibers, releases norepinephrine at effector organs except sweat glands, which uses acetylcholine. Okay, preganglionic neurons also called short fibers. It's mainly its neurotransmitter is acetylcholine, and postganglion neurotransmitter is norepinephrine. These both acetylcholine and norepinephrine are activated during the emergency responses to defect the forthcoming emergencies. And further, what are the target organs? It includes every organs in our body, and some organs include the targeting of the sympathetic nervous system are heart, lungs, blood vessels, sweat glands, adrenal medulla, digestive organs and the eyes. Like it will in target organs, and then adrenal medulla. It's a specialized part of sympathetic nervous system that acts as an endocrine gland. It is also known as adrenal medulla is also acting as a endocrine gland. It secretes some of the hormones like adrenaline. Adrenaline is also known as epinephrine or norepinephrine. These are the most important hormones in the sympathetic nervous systems. This is a diagram representing the functions of the sympathetic nervous systems. Like some few examples of the sympathetic nervous system functions includes the pupils dilations to increase our vision during the night times to protect from any other dangers. For example, for causing or walking in the lone or night areas, there will be some snakes or any other activity, reptile activities. To prevent them, our sympathetic nervous system enhance or dilate our pupils to increase our vision. Like this one, heart rate will increase during those situations to increase the blood volume of our body, and then bladder will relax and it releases the urine and to release for the urine. So these are some of the functions of the sympathetic nervous system. First one, cardiovascular system. In cardiovascular system, heart, it will mainly consist of the heart, and what is the function of the heart by the sympathetic nervous system? It increases heart rate and force of contraction. Okay, like positive inotropic and conotropic caffeine increases the calcium channels of our heart, and it will increases the blood volume in our body, and blood volume will increase blood flow to all other organs of our body. Next one, blood vessels. Blood vessels will constrict in non-essential areas. It will constrict blood vessels in non-constrict area like skin or digestive system. These both skin and digestive systems are enhanced by the parasympathetic nervous systems, mostly in a relaxation period. But during sympathetic nervous system, these are not essential. Their functions are very limited. So the sympathetic nervous system constricts blood vessels in those areas while dilating vessels in skeletal muscles and the heart. Like what is the heart increases the blood flow to our body and skeletal muscles. Skeletal muscle means increases output to the legs and hands by for example, if the dog chasing us, we have to run. For those activities, our blood vessels will dilate in the skeletal muscles area and enhancing the blood flow to those legs and hands and then we can run fast. Then affects maintain blood pressure and ensures adequate blood supply to vital organs. Next one, respiratory system. What is respiratory system? It consists of bronchodilations. It will expand, sympathetic nervous system will expand airways and increases the oxygen output or increases the inspiration process of our body, increased oxygen during stress for tackling or synchronizing the effect of stressful situation, and it causes breathlessness. For maintaining those breathlessness, our body will expand the airways and it increases the oxygen intake to our body, and by that in alveoli the oxygen consumption will occur and it transports to oxyhemoglobin to the other parts of the tissues. Next one, metabolic functions like glucose metabolism. For emergency situations, we have to activate by during the defense mechanisms. To those times we need so much energy. For energy requirement, glucose is very essential. So thus sympathetic nervous system enhances in the glucose metabolism by breaking down the glucogenolysis, breakdown of glucose into the glycogen into glucose in the liver. It will convert glycogen into glucose in the liver, and these glucoses will further transported to the other parts of the body and it produces energy to our body muscles. Like for example, blood volume will increases to our leg and hand, and those legs and hand blood flow will also require energy by ATP molecules, and those ATP molecules are provided only by the breakdown of glucose. So these metabolisms are also enhanced or controlled by the sympathetic nervous systems. Next one, fat metabolism promotes lipolysis, breakdown of fats for energy. This also includes another one mechanisms, fat metabolisms for breaking down of the fats or burning down the fats, and it converts fats, lipids into the energy. Okay, thermogenesis increases metabolic rate and heat production. It regulates the thermal or else temperature regulation of our body, increases metabolic rate and heat production, increases our body temperature and maintain those stressful situations. And then digestive system, it inhibits digestion. Digestion is not important. Like for example, if the dog or any other danger is arriving to us or we are running, those time digestion is not important. So that time our body automatically inhibits the digestive system and reduces the blood flow to the digestive tract, inhibit peristalsis and decreases secretion of digestive enzymes. So this why sympathetic nervous is doing these things is it is not essential during the stressful situations. For conservation of energy and maintaining the proper defense mechanisms and prevention of energy utilization in the unactivated areas, it inhibits the digestive system. Next one, eye response. Like I told you in the first, pupil dilation, mydriasis, enhanced vision. For enhanced vision in night or in low light visions, it will help to dilate the pupil and enhances our vision or improve our vision or bright visions. Some examples include like walking in the night or taking a stroll at night areas with no light or low vision areas. It is very important for our vision to prevent from any other dangers. Most of our Indian population, in rural Indian population, has a mortal prevalence rate of snake bites, like those farmers or any other rural people, labor workers, while walking across the farms or any other agricultural lands, they are affected by the effect of snake bites during the night times. So it's prevention of these unnecessary troubles. Our body automatically increases our pupil dilations. So this is one of the example for why pupil dilation is occurring in the sympathetic nervous system. And further, sweat glands simulate sweating, increases the sweating, helps regulate body temperature during stress. We are in some emergency situation, we are walking or during physical some exercises or running, our heart rate will increase and it leads through tachycardia. Our heart rate is very increased. So those times our temperature will also increase. So and sweat glands will produce so much sweat, and it also removes excess liquids or fluids from our body, leading to dehydration. So prevention of these kind of impacts, our body will stimulate sweating and control the temperature regulation, and by controlling the thermoregulation or the hot body temperature, it will reduce the sweat, or it will need what are the sweat, how much sweat it will want for this activity, and how much sweat that for those activity our body will automatically recognize, and according to those it will enhances the sweat glands. Next one, adrenal medulla activation. It is one of the important functions of the sympathetic nervous system. So releases adrenaline or norepinephrine affecting the flight or fright response. It is the most important part of our sympathetic nervous system. Sympathetic nervous system mainly consists of flight or fight. Fight, it means we have to fight or defend ourselves, or flight, we have to run away. For example, in some situations we have to defend ourselves. For example, in students they have to fight or defend themselves during the viva or practical sessions, or else in flight response, like dog or any snake or any animals or thief, they are chasing us, we have to run away to protect us from the dangers. So these both mechanisms are one of the important functions of the sympathetic nervous system, and it was regulated by those hormones, adrenaline and norepinephrine. It was released by the adrenal medulla organ present above the kidneys. It increases the heart rate, tachycardia or blood pressure. Sometimes blood pressure will also increases, and it will again go to the normal range when in the resting or normal phase. It will regulated by the parasympathetic nervous system, and alertness. It will help us to make our body alert during some emergency situations or stressful situations. Key transmitters and receptors. Acetylcholine released by preganglionic neurons at the ganglionic synapses. It is one of the neurons except sympathetic nervous system. It was used only in the sweat glands, and every other organs in the sympathetic nervous system uses the norepinephrine, more released by postganglionic neurons at the target organs. It was released by at the sympathetic nervous system in the heart was released in the heart, and like in lungs it will released in the respiratory system. So like in skeletal muscles it will released in the skeletal muscles. It was released at the present of postganglionic neurons at the target organs. The ganglions present at the target organs will release norepinephrine during the sympathetic nervous system activities or flight or fight responses. Adrenergic nerves on target tissues. Where the sympathetic nervous system will act, it is called target tissues. Like first one, alpha receptors found in blood vessels mediate vasoconstrictions. Most adrenergic receptor types, first one it is alpha receptors, mostly found in the blood vessels, and the function of the sympathetic nervous system in the blood vessel is constriction of the blood vessels, and reduces the blood flow to the unessential areas and increases the vasodilation in the essential areas. Like next one, beta receptors found in the heart, lungs and muscles mediate heart rate, bronchodilation and smooth muscle relaxation. It will cause relaxation of the smooth muscles and increases the physical activity or running or jogging, those kind of activities, it will be increased by releasing of the smooth muscles. And then mediating heart rate increases, it will lead to increasing of the heart rate, and it leads to increase of the blood pressure and the blood volume, and then the blood flow to every other essential parts of our body will increase, leads to increased delivery of oxygen and nourishments to the target tissues, and bronchodilation enhances the airways and O2 intake of our body for our energy metabolisms. Finally, role in flight or fight responses. It is one of the body's survival mechanisms. Like you have heard of some of the shows like Man vs. Wild and so those examples mean they have to survive on whatever they have, and they have they have to survive on those, like water. They don't have any fresh water, they have to depend on some of these salt water or unpurified waters, and they have to depend on for raw vegetables and fruits for their development. So those kind of activities are our body automatically done by the sympathetic nervous systems, redirecting blood flow to essential organs like heart, brain or muscles, increasing energy availability through metabolic changes like glucose metabolism, fat breakdown of glucose and fats, and converting them into the energies for our body energy, and it leads to thermoregulation and other activities of the flight responses. So enhancing sensory perception and visual, like increases the visual or olfactory smell and increases the vision for our activities, and physical performances like running, walking, jogging. Those kind of activities are also increases by the flight or fight responses of the sympathetic nervous system. Clinical relevances. Overactivation leads to chronic stress, can lead to hypertension, anxiety and other disorders. Sometimes our sympathetic systems can lead to overactivity. It will work over what they need, what our body need, that it will again go to the higher lengths, and it is called overactivation. And these overactivation of those sympathetic nervous systems causes the chronic stress, and the further chronic stress means gradual, long-term period, can lead to hypertension, increased level of BP. Like during some emergency or stressful situations, our body automatically increases our blood pressure, and it will again come to normal. But sometimes it will reach to overactivation, and constant maintaining of those up and down pressures movements causes the hypertension and increasing elevated level of BP in those patients. And that anxiety, one of the main cause, stress, anxiety, depression of the metabolic or psychiatric issues, and leads to SNS activation. And pharmacological targets, adrenergic blockers, example beta blockers are used to manage heart conditions. Sometimes the over condition leads to hypertension and other heart condition, and hypertension further leads to the cardiovascular diseases, and those beta blockers are used to prevent the cardiac condition, especially hypertension, by inhibiting the sympathetic activity. Yeah, this is one of the branch of the autonomic nervous system, and other branch of the autonomic nervous system is the parasympathetic. It is a rest or digest hormone. It will, like a sympathetic nervous system, elevate the blood pressure of our body, and parasympathetic nervous system decrease or bring back our blood pressure to the normal flow or normal rate. This is the activity of the parasympathetic nervous system. It will enhances the rest or digest activities, like our parasympathetic nervous system inhibiting the digestive system. It will enhances the digestive system, digestion, and also it will increases the saliva production. It will increases the urine output. It also increases the sexual activities. The resting and the digestion, the resting activities included, every other human activities include, are all controlled by the parasympathetic nervous systems. It like sympathetic nervous system increases the heart rate, it will decreases the heart rate, or else means it will decreases the heart rate to the normal level. It will not cause bradycardia, it will decreases the heart rate what is the normal level, and it will increases the bronchoconstrictions like dilation of the relaxation of the airways, and it will bring back the airways to the normal level, or air pipe or windpipe to the normal level, or trachea to the normal level. And further sexual activities and digestion activities are also increased during the parasympathetic nervous system. This is all about simple overview about the sympathetic and parasympathetic nervous system, guys. Thank you for watching my class.